And 3 seasons into the show, the aftershocks still resonate.
Well, I knew you belonged in our family. But then I got really jealous. Yeah. So jealous.
You even said at one point you thought, Robyn, you thought of her as the enemy.
I know, isn't that horrible?
How are you guys doing now?
You know, Christine and I have actually had several heart-to-hearts. I mean, I think as we go along and we navigate and figure out our relationship, we continue to communicate.
Kody and Robyn, they got engaged and everything, and I thought, oh, that's nice, they're engaged now, so now it's more official.
They were bitter and they were angry and they were struggling to accept me. Mary and I spent time actually going to see a counselor together when Kody and I were first married, trying to work through some of our misunderstandings, you know, as far as me coming to the family. If you can get past your issues of jealousy, insecurity, and
Hey friends, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. It is Monday, April 29th, 2024. The deep dives of the Sister Wives archives continues. And today we're going all the way back to season 3 when the Sister Wives wrote a book called Becoming Sister Wives. There was a tell-all that was hosted by Natalie Morales, and all of the women and Kody sat down and talked about their book, Becoming Sister Wives, which was released in 2013, published in 2013. They wrote a book about becoming a family 3 years after going public, 3 years after Robyn joined the family. And they were interviewed about excerpts from the book, and each wife and their introduction to the family was discussed. And conflicts between the wives, issues between Kody and the wives, nothing was off limits during this tell-all. Kody was even called a womanizer, or brought to the table right off the bat by Natalie Morales, effectively asking him if he was a womanizer.
So it wasn't that you chose religion to be a womanizer?
Is that what you think I am?
Well, an outsider may say you're fulfilling a need by taking on a new wife each time.
I will strongly disagree with that outsider's point of view.
It started on a note of Natalie calling out everything that Kody and the wives effectively admitted in this book. Kody admitted that in high school, he went from girl to girl to girl, and he was always telling every single girl that he loved them, and he would always say that he loved a girl and then realize he didn't love a girl. He has been saying this thing about love and women since 2012 and 2013, that he falls in love too easily and then he realizes it's not love, and then he finds another person and he loves them intensely. It's not that he doesn't love the women, it's that Kody is a womanizer, and he is a womanizer, and that's what she was saying, and he didn't like that. And the wives back then were a little bit more brainwashed, and they definitely defended him. But it was this specific tell-all that they dove into conflicts between Mary and Janelle, where Janelle dove in and, explained that Mary was a bully.
Mary and I went from cordial to frosty overnight. One of my friends and I had experimented with makeup. Mary began to ridicule the makeup I was wearing. This was the final straw. After all the passive-aggressive behavior for so many months, I completely lost it. I felt as if I was on the verge of a complete nervous breakdown.
And that was probably the toughest point for me.
Did you take it out on Janelle, the fact that she was pregnant before you?
I didn't perceive it as that.
No.
It was really just...
What Natalie makes clear in the interview is that Kody was never settled with any one of the women. He only got settled after a period of time after Christine joined the family. But Kody and Mary never had time, just the two of them, because they started courting a new woman right away. Then they immediately brought on Janelle. Then they bring on Christine. And it's this constant battle of everyone's trying to figure out personalities. Kody is always hunting and looking for the next woman. All of them, at a point, it becomes like this pecking order. And Mary, unable to get pregnant, starts to lash out at the women that are getting pregnant and she's not. And she lashes out at Janelle, and she does bully Janelle quite a bit, and Mary acknowledges it, although Mary says that their personalities were very different. I will say this. Any woman that's placed in a position where they're newly married and then they have another woman moving in with them and they have to hear their husband having sex with that woman in a wall next door in the bedroom is going to make any woman probably feel rageful. It's going to make any woman filled with rage, filled with anger. And even though they say they chose this, they're not choosing this because they think that this is what they want right now. They're choosing this because they think it's their only way to go to heaven, and that in order to get to heaven, they have to overcome all of this crap. And that by overcoming it, they'll prove that they're better people. It's a test in making and abusing women and then forcing them to stuff down their emotions. And it just seeped out through Mary bullying Janelle and Janelle doing things to make Mary mad, and the two of them going bat to bat and having huge fights and her moving out. That all happened before Robyn came, mind you. And then when Christine joins the family, Kody is less than kind about what he thought about her.
Come on.
Kody wrote, Christine was the cutest girl in the world, although she was a little chubby.
I was pretty chubby.
But does size matter to you, Kody? I mean, were you grossed out you said she was chubby and she was eating the nacho cheese?
I will be honest, I was not attracted to Christine in any kind of physical sense.
So you were not physically attracted to Christine?
That's an understatement.
You were grossed out by her?
I won't say that, but the nachos grossed me out enough to make me go, okay, I'm waiting.
Kody was put to the test and tasked about the fact that he wrote in a book that he was not attracted to Christine, that because a chubby girl ate nachos, that he was grossed out and he wasn't attracted to her in a physical sense. Mind you, he is weight and body shaming Christine while Janelle is sitting right next to him with googly eyes, trying to see what his response will be about does size matter, because clearly size did matter if he's going to bring up that she was a chubby girl eating nachos. And Christine was forced to hear for 8 years that Kody wasn't attracted to her, that he was repulsed by her, found her gross, and didn't want to marry her. That loop played over in her mind over and over and over again. He reminded her of it all the time, and then he would flaunt his hot wife, Robyn, who was thin and his supermodel, right? That was what she had to face before she finally left him in 2021. So this idea that he never told her that he wasn't attracted to her is false. This idea that the family had no problems before Robyn came along is false. Here he is admitting he wasn't attracted to Christine. He didn't really want to marry her. That's all in the book. And then you get to the Robyn side of things and you realize just how incredibly messed up this family was when she joined the family and how many problems it created. And in fairness, the other women did their bullying and the pecking order off camera. They didn't court on camera. They formed a family off camera privately. But when Robyn joined the family, the pecking order continued. And this is to say that just because we don't like Robyn, every single woman that came into the family went through being berated, jealousy, having people angry at her, people pecking on her, taking their anger out on her. And they're all doing this because they're not mad at the woman, they're mad at Kody. But they can't tell Kody that they're mad at him because Kody will tell them to suck it up because he doesn't want to hear it. So instead of fighting with Kody, they fight with each other. And it creates a really unhealthy dynamic. And so you don't have to love Robyn to note that it couldn't have been easy for her to walk into a situation where everyone's criticizing her and putting her under a microscope right off the gate. But she was well aware of the problems and she still did it anyway And that's where I won't give her a pass. Here's a few clips.
Yeah, I mean,
Why was it so hard, even though you knew this is what this marriage was all about? You even said at one point you thought, Robyn, you thought of her as the enemy.
I know, isn't that horrible?
How are you guys doing now?
You know, Christine and I have actually had several heart-to-hearts. I mean, I think as we go along and we navigate and figure out our relationship, we continue to communicate.
Mary and Kody were actually in marriage counseling shortly before meeting Robyn.
So Robyn knew when she decided to marry Kody and court him that Christine was pregnant. She knew that he was having problems with Mary. She knew that he was in marriage counseling with Mary. She knew that Christine was unsure about their relationship. Christine made clear about her uncertainty on the show, in the episodes they filmed, as well as behind the scenes. Christine referred to her as the enemy and would frequently tell Kody that he was leaving his family. Mary and Kody are on the verge of a divorce, and then Mary and Kody decide that Robyn is going to be added to the family. Janelle is hanging on by a thread at this point. She had already left Kody in the early 2000s and got back with him like 2005. So she had only been back in the family like 4 years by this point. She had left more than once. So the family was a mess. And despite what Robyn says now that she had no clue, this is her acknowledging that she knew these problems were going on, and yet she continued to move forward in the relationship, even though she wasn't sure that she wanted to. And this is all because of whatever, faith, fame, whatever it is that they were seeking here. But the therapy part is interesting.
See, most people would think, again, looking from the outside, at a time where you're going through a struggle in your marriage, and then at the same time you're starting a new relationship.
Yeah, it's crazy, wasn't it?
Why did you do that? It's crazy.
No, here's the interesting thing is the time gets fuzzed. Mary and I were literally at a point of an all-time high right before we met Robyn.
When you say we were at an all-time high,
We weren't.
no,
Okay.
we weren't.
Natalie says to them, you know, with a normal person, if they're struggling in their marriage, wouldn't think to add someone else to the mix to fix the problems. And Robyn says, I know, it's crazy, isn't it? Even Robyn can acknowledge how ridiculous this idea was to bring her into a family where he's on the verge of separating from one wife. He has a pregnant wife that's really unhappy with him doing this, feeling rejected, abandoned, and left. And then a third wife, Janelle, who is basically living in the friend zone and has left him 3 times by now. By the time Kody brought Robyn in, he already had multiple wives on their way out the door. They were so frustrated with the life. Christine was already tired of living plural marriage by this point and was struggling with this idea of sharing a husband. And you know, they would get caught in lies like this, and then Mary would correct Kody. It's very easy to look back now in what they call optimism. They'll say Kody is so optimistic. It's not optimism. What Kody does is he lies to cover up the truth. And he lies by being optimistic and claiming it's optimism, when in the truth is the family was a mess. They were all not really getting along, and then they brought Robyn into a toxic relationship, but Robyn willingly came in knowing all of this was happening, and then played the victim when they didn't accept her as the new wife. It's such a unbelievable scenario that you can't make it up, right? And none of the women, any of them, can see how they've contributed to the hurt of the other, really, because they're all being victimized by each other, and then they're all victimizing each other, and then Kody's victimizing all of them. And so they're just pecking at each other because they can't peck at Kody, and then Kody pecks at them. And it's disastrous. And then Robyn admits that it was such a mess when she came in that Mary didn't trust her about her intentions for coming in, because she felt that once she met Mary, Mary almost felt like Robyn love bombed her and made her feel like they were going to have this close sister-wife relationship. And then once Kody and Robyn got married, she kind of ditched Mary. So then she says she goes to counseling with Mary.
I mean, we
All-time low is what I read in the book.
we were low. We were having struggles in our relationship.
And you went to a marriage counselor along with Kody and Mary?
I did. I wanted something between Mary and I, and we got to a place where we can talk to each other.
We've all been to counseling.
Together?
Yeah.
We haven't
have
all
we
gone
done it all five
together.
of us at once?
Oh, one time.
One time we
Listen,
did.
every week we sit on this couch and we sit there and hash it all out.
Kody and Mary's relationship was so bad. They were in therapy. And Robyn made the decision to attend the counseling sessions with Mary and with Kody. On the surface, she says that she's doing this because she wants to better understand Mary and have a better relationship with her. But it's hard for me not to think that being in a counseling session before marriage and after marriage with Kody and Mary would enable her to know the dynamics of that marriage, what their problems were. She could figure out what not to do, what to do in the marriage. She would also know how to weaponize their problems against one another. She could gather information about them because she's narcissistic like that. She was in counseling with Mary before marriage and even after marriage. And she admits this multiple times throughout the seasons. And even Kody tries to lie about it and say, well, we did marriage counseling with everyone. And Christine's like, we did? Maybe once. You know, he's constantly lying. And then he's like, but no. We sort through everything on the couch. We hash it out on the couch. But they really don't hash out things on the couch. So Robyn knew very well the problems in this dynamic. So to play the victim now is just, she's the one that's rewriting history.
Courtship being aired on television was hell for me. I knew that Christine and Mary and Janelle all said yes to Kody courting me and to marrying me. I knew this, and I had them tell me this themselves. But when things progressed, I started to feel very confused. They were bitter and they were angry and they were struggling to accept me.
By season 8, Robyn was given her own behind the scenes and they did her whole journey on the show. And you hear from her about how she knew back in the very early days that the wives were not accepting her. She knew that Christine was jealous. She knew that she was and had done things that had hurt Christine. But instead of viewing it as she hurt Christine by kissing Kody, she played the victim and said that having them comment on her courtship was what was hurtful to her. And she perceived that as being bullied and pecked at. And Christine is viewed as the bully, mad that they kissed before the altar. And Christine, in the same episode, says she didn't really understand how jealous she could be, recognizing that she took her jealousy and her anger out on Robyn. Robyn constantly plays the victim and makes this whole first part of their marriage look like it was hell. She says at one point she calls up her sister and tells them she doesn't think that she can marry Kody because she doesn't think she can do this. It's way too painful. So you think, how can she now in 2024 say she couldn't see the issues? It's a rewriting of history. She's rewriting history by saying that she saw this perfect thing because that perfect thing was never perfect, and she was a part of that, and it was never perfect.
Mary and I spent time actually going to see a counselor together when Kody and I were first married, trying to work through some of our misunderstandings, you know, as far as me coming to the family.
And again, she brings up the fact that she was in counseling with Mary when Kody and her were first married because she and Mary were having problems. Mary was feeling like she didn't know if she could trust Robyn's intentions. In the book, Mary describes how she felt ditched by Robyn, how Robyn cozied up to her very much, made her feel like they were going to be best friends, and then got close to Kody and sort of said, "See you later, Mary. Life's been great." Like she got what she wanted, what she needed through her relationship with Mary, and then she was going to move on to the next. Kind of like how she said that Kody wanted to say, go find whatever and move on. That's what she did. She said, go find whatever. Bye, Mary. Thank you. You gave me what I wanted. And they had to go to therapy to get through those problems. And then she claims over and over and over again that this relationship with Mary is proof that she's working through all of these issues. But again, it just proves that she knew this family wasn't perfect and she had no wool pulled over her eyes. They showed Robyn who they were. They showed Robyn who they were when Becoming Sister Wives came out, and she still didn't leave in 2013.
When I met Kody, Christine, Mary, and Janelle, they had already decided to do this television show. Whoa. I remember Kody saying to me, you know, we're doing this television show and we're going to go public.
I did it as disclosure. I felt like you needed to know we were
He did, and I thought he was like kind of bragging, or like he was full of it. He was like, oh yeah, I'm going to be on a television show.
I'm a TV star.
Yeah, and I was like, whatever.
Hell, Kody would even brag that they were on a TV show and that he would use that as a way to get her interested in him. Now he says, you thought I was bragging, but I was just doing this as a disclosure, which is BS. She knew because she was in the same church as them. Everyone at church was talking about it during this time. She knew who he was. She knew he lived in Lehi. She knew that she had a cousin that lived right by them. She kind of sought Kody out because a year before she was going through her divorce, she wrote down that she wanted to change the world. She wanted to meet Oprah. She wanted to write a best-selling book. She wanted to be a New York Times bestseller. She wanted to basically be famous and have wealth. Those were her goals in life. And that she didn't care who she married as long as she could achieve those goals. She wasn't going to care about romantic love. She wasn't going to care about anything else. Those were the goals that she put on paper prior to meeting Kody. But Kody, at the same time, can tell what she's after and says, hey, I got a show. So she's willing to put up with all this crap because she wants the fame and she wants the money and she wants the resources and the affluence that she feels like the show is going to give her. And then Kody feels like she's going to be a trophy for him. And then they both play the victim throughout the whole time, but she knows going into this, the family's a mess. She knows they have a show. She knows Kody and Mary are in therapy. She knows that Christine's having a hard time with their courtship. She knows that Janelle is kind of just lost in obscurity. She knows that all of his relationships are so far gone that she also knows she'll be the favorite wife because there's really no competition with women who are all the way out the door. And then you get into a show where they all have to pretend like they're happy, but they're not. And then Robyn constantly plays the victim. But Robyn knew. I mean, all you have to do is watch the archives, find the hidden episodes, find the bonus clips. You will see that this woman knew what she was getting into, did not care about it because she wanted fame, she wanted money, she wanted affluence, and she wanted whatever that was at all costs and didn't care about the damage. Kody wanted the fame, the money, and the trophy wife, and he didn't care about the damage that it would cause either. But Kody is a self-admitted love addict, and he will go find someone new. He can't be satisfied with Robyn. It's just not possible. So that's today's deep dive, and Robyn Brown knew the whole time. What are your thoughts about all of this? Make sure to leave a comment and tell me what your thoughts are. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed, and click on the bell so you never miss a video. Bye guys.